Good morning, Madhvi.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, so you can listen to the audio, right? Fine.
Yes, yes.
All right. So, can you please introduce yourself to us?
Sir, my name is Madhvi Yadav. I am from Lucknow. I did my BTech from Madan Mohan Malviya Engineering College. After that, I worked in Hindustan Petroleum Corporation. I worked there for 1.5 years, and then I left it for the preparation of UPSC, Civil Services and Forest Services.
All right. But actually, your devs suggest that you have worked there for only for 1.5 months. So, is there some discrepancy there?
Sir, there was some mistake, I think, typing mistake there, sir. I worked there for 1 year, sir. Sorry, sir, there was, I think, some typing error.
All right. All right. So, what was your profile there in HPCL?
Sir, I worked as a maintenance officer in HPCL, sir, in LPG bottling plant.
All right. All right. So, like, you didn't enjoy the work there, so you left.
Sir, I left because I felt that there were less opportunities to work with the people, and I was more interested in doing having more interactive job and working for the welfare of the people. And it does not give me opportunity for so much activities with the people and working for their welfare, whether it's for the conservation or anything. Sir, there were limited opportunities there, sir.
All right. So, is HPCL Maharatna company?
No, sir, it's still a Navratna company.
All right. So, can you tell me few Maharatna companies?
Sir, ONGC, IOCL, uh, NTPC. So BPCL has also got its Maharatna status recently. So
All
these
right.
are the ones.
So, what are the benefits of achieving Maharatna status?
So I'm not able to recall the actual benefits, but it gave them more autonomy to work and start new projects, sir.
All right. Like you also mentioned about BPCL. So, presently there are talks about disinvestment of BPCL, and the scheme is in the pipeline. So, what are your views on disinvestment of PSUs in general and BPCL in particular?
As our government policy is key, except in the strategic sectors, we should privatize all the PSUs. And oil is a strategic sector. So I think there is IOCL as a public sector can remain there because it was originally uh, done by the government only. And sir, I think in oil marketing companies, the there is a conflict of interest also because government is acting as a regulator as well as the operator. So it should reduce its presence there and at max keeping one PSU as government company will be better. So I think sir BPCL and BPCL and all privatization will increase the efficiency and also it will give innovation and competition in the market. So it will also be benefit for the consumer welfare. So I am in support of privatization of most of the PSUs, sir, because they are also going in the loss. But and it has also been seen that once the news for the BPCL privatization was out, there has been increase in the efficiency of BPCL, sir.
All right. I can see you also have a graduation in electronics and communication engineering, right? So, can you tell me what is a diode?
The diode is a PN junction uh, or NN junction. It has two terminals. So one is P and one is N, sir. So I am not able to recall only this much,
Uh,
sir.
It's all right. It's all right. What is the difference between 4G and 5G?
So 5G is faster and it has less time delay, sir. So 5G works in the range of 100 Gbps, while 4G works in the 10 Gbps, sir.
All right. All right. You also have geology as an optional. All right.
Yes, sir.
So, Have you heard about a concept called atmospheric windows?
Sorry, sir, I do not know.
All right. Uh, what is your motivation to join Indian Forest Services?
Sir, first, I have many reasons to join Indian Forest Services, many motivation behind it. Firstly, I was inspired by my father to work for the wildlife conservation and forest conservation because without them, life cannot sustain on Earth. Secondly, I like field jobs, sir, and IFS gives me a lot of opportunity to interact with the people and even give a chance to change the perspective about wildlife. Thirdly, sir, I think at a small stage, it brings balance between economic development and conservation. So it helps in bringing balance at a very small scale. So all these reasons have motivated me for Indian Forest Services.
All right. Like statistically speaking, there are relatively lesser number of women officer in forest services. So, what could be the reason behind this, in your opinion?
Uh, I can guess only, sir. I think the Indian Forest Service is a demanding job. It has a lot of field job. It can be sometimes very drilling night and day duty about patrols and everything, and also has a security perspective there, anti-poaching and all. So it might be difficult for some to balance their work life and the work and life, sir, and family lives. So I think it might be a reason for many women to join less, sir.
All right. So, like your father was in forest, was in forest services, assistant conservator of forest. So, have you visited any national park?
Yes, sir. I have visited two national parks, Rajaji National Park and Govind Pashu Vihar National Park, sir. Both are in Uttarakhand right now, sir.
All right. So, like, what was the flora and fauna you observed in Rajaji National Park?
Sir, in Rajaji National Park, I found like sal tree, Arjuna terminalia tree, sir, and various fauna were there. Like I really saw a wild elephant there for the first time, and there was also sambar there, and so this is all I saw there. So,
So, you found teak also in Rajaji National Park.
so I didn't saw teak there, sir. I didn't saw teak there. I saw salt there, sir. Salt.
All right. So, what is the general distribution of sol and teak in India? Like, they are the two most dominant flora species. So, where do we find teak more, in north or in the south, and why?
They generally do not grow in decaying trap area, but they are one of the most extensively found species. They are so they I think they are found more both in south and north. Where they are found more, sir, I am not very sure about that. But I have seen them in north as well as south.
All right. All right. Uh, I can see your date of birth is on 14th of January, right?
Sir,
So, what is special about 14th of January?
sir, 14th of January is the after 14th of January, the apparent position of sun moves south south of Tropic of Cancer, and so Makar Sankranti in the north is celebrated on 14th of January. It is the only festival that is based on solar cycle in Hindu religion, sir.
All right. So is that the reason why we have Makar Sankranti on a fixed day? Like not many Hindu festival have a fixed date vis-a-vis Hindi calendar, English calendar, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Nearly 1 or 2 gap. It is generally fixed. Yes, sir.
All right. Also on Makar Sankranti, I think there is a tradition of kite flying. So
Yes,
do
sir.
you know what is the belief behind that?
Sorry, sir. I do not know.
All right. Uh, I think now Lawrence Satvik sir can take over from here, right?
Good morning, Madhvi.
Good morning, sir.
You have written, where is your schooling from?
So, due to transfer posting, I have been schooled from many areas in Uttar Pradesh and Uttaranchal, sir. I have been in Gorakhpur, Dehradun, and there is a place Mainpuri, then Lucknow, sir, then again Gorakhpur, my college. Sir.
So, have you found any stark difference in the flora of these areas, one among each other?
Uh, Flora, yes, sir, I have found difference. So, example in Gorakhpur, it has Terai ecosystem. So there I found that Arjuna tea, which is waterlogged tolerant species. I found there Arjuna and even Sals there. But then when I went to the Uttaranchal, that is Uttar Kashi and all Govind Pashu Vihar, I even found the rhododendron, even the Bugyal grassland and cheer, pine, deodar. These species I found there. And when I got to the Mainpuri, which is a bit a semi-arid region, there I found mostly tropical dry deciduous forests, sir, with a very limited forest, very limited flora present there, sir. So this is, and even when we were posted in the Sonbhadra, sir, there was a bit of teak was available there. These are the teak was available in most of the places. So and there was tropical moist uh, forest present in the Kemur region, sir. This is all I can recall about the differences, sir.
Uh, in your house, in most
Yes,
of the
sir.
houses, we have windows and doors.
Yes, sir.
So, what kind of wood do we use there?
Sir, we use Tectona grandis, sir, teak. Even we use sesame. These two species I can remember, sir.
These are very costly. Everyone cannot use it.
Yes,
Everyone
sir.
can't have a teak or shisham. What does a
Yes.
normal person buy? What is there in your house or in most of the houses? We have doors and the bordering wood.
Yes, sir. Sir. So in my home it is sesame, sir, and
I okay.
so sir, I more
Where did you do your college from Madan Mohan Malvi?
Madan Mohan Engineering College, Gorakhpur. Sir.
Okay, can you tell us something about him?
So Madan Mohan Malviya was a freedom struggle fighter. He was of a moderate nature. He was also more towards the Hindu nationalism and cultural nationalism, and he started the college Benares Hindu University, and he even donated his savings as well as collected this money from all over the India for creation of Banaras Hindu University. And so he recently got Bharat Ratna for his contribution in Indian struggle, freedom and
You use the word Hindu nationalism. What do
yes.
you understand by it?
So it is a form of cultural nationalism, sir, and it is based on our ancient roots, and for connecting it our past, and sir, all this.
But India is not about only
No, sir,
Hindus.
it is not about. We are a secular country, and we respect all the religion. Hindu nationalism was not connected to a particular religion, sir. It was more connected to the ancient history, connection to its our culture. And in their language, Hindu was everyone who was residing in the country, India. So in his opinion, sir.
So, how do you see the change across the century? And do you shift any change in the mindset of people or mindset of the organization or the mindset of the nation, considering these terms?
So I think it has been started with more cultural nationalism, and in recent past, there has been few instances of polarization, but they are very sporadic and ad hoc events. At large, we are still sticking to our core values of secularism, tolerance, and compassion for each other, sir, and we are united in our soul throughout the country, sir.
What could be the reason behind these sporadic events?
So there might be various issues, like there have been fake news and some people, religious leaders trying to use it for their benefit, or fake news, and even by by external agents to disintegrate or uh, to uh, to go against the territorial integrity of the nation. Mostly fake news, and sir, there can be some uh, sleeper cells acting to polarize. So these are the things I know, think of.
So we have sleeper cells in India,
So there are sleeper cells. Yes, sir.
and which government document says that?
So there have been news of some IT engineers acting as sleeping cells for terrorist outfits, sir. There have been news in the past, sir.
What do you understand by forest?
So forest for me is a place where there is lots of trees and presence of wildlife. And in legal terms, it is forest when it is recorded under the recorded as forest in uh, in government records, sir.
Have you heard of Government judgment?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I have heard of
So,
it.
what does that judgment give the definition of forest?
So I am not able to recall that, sir.
It's okay. Have you seen Sherni?
Yes, sir. I have watched the movie.
Was yeah. What extra, what other things you would have done while on the field? What difference you would have made had you been on that particular post?
So she has done most some good works like improving the relation with the community, but a bit she was failed in protecting the tigress that was T12 in the movie. So I would have taken special steps for it, like in the night duty I would have been present, but just I will not have allowed the hunter to be on that forest, and I have made sure that tranquilizer should be used, and I will not have allowed the hunter with the bullets. I have allowed him only with the tranquilizers,
But
and
that's what,
bullets should be,
uh,
yes, sir.
but I think she tried that only, but that did not go well with the local politics and the local
Yes, sir.
people. Then
Yes,
what
sir.
would you have done?
Sir, I will have worked with the more with the local people, sir, in that sense. Sir, I would have tried to change their mindset and would have gone for ki, if there is problem, we can even relocate the tiger in other national parks which are tiger reserves, but they have nearly zero tigers, like Buxa Tiger Reserve. So I would have worst case scenario. I would have tried to convince them if it is creating problem and if it has become a man eater according to them, so we can relocate the tiger to another tiger reserve, sir.
As per Wildlife Protection Act,
Yes, sir.
do you or does a field functionary have authority to change the territory of the tiger?
So it has the it is with chief wildlife warden, sir. I have to take permission from him, sir.
Okay. So you read books, right? Novels and non-fiction.
Non-fiction books, sir. Yes, sir.
It is written you read novels and non-fiction.
Yes, sir. It was DAF 1 and DAF 2. I have corrected, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
which was the latest book that you have read?
So latest book I have read is Why Nations Fail, sir.
Okay, it is by written by.
That is, it is by Darcy and James Robinson, sir. It is,
And what is the theme of the book?
sir. It is about why there is disparity in world in the levels of prosperity and poverty. It tries to dig deeper into this issue and came out that it is due to the political and economic nature of the nations. The more political inclusive and economic inclusive a nation is, more prosperous it will be and lesser inequality will be there. It it debugs that many theorists have called it as a result of racist, culturist, or even geographic factors for this disparity. But it said that they are they have lesser impact to this, and more impact is due to the political nature. So he has given a new perspective on the difference of in prosperity and poverty in the world. Sir.
Good. Have you read that book, Land of Seven Rivers?
Sorry, sir, I haven't read that. Sir.
Which is your favorite non-fiction?
So I think it is *Sapiens: The History of Humankind*, sir, by Nora Yuval Harari, sir.
How does this impact you?
Sir, it impacts me that it gives me a new perspective of seeing things, and also connects me why we are what we are and why we are so, sir. Like it has started with the Stone Age and cognitive age, why we entered the cognitive age, and how we entered the agriculture age, and what was the difference, and why it is us who was more inclined towards the agriculture age. And then, sir, he at the end he also says ki, we have made all these political institutions and the boundaries of nation and everything for our survival and our coordination. And he also connects today's problem with our genetic key. We have evolved culturally in 2000, in 10,000 years we have evolved culturally, but at the genetics level, at the biological level, we are not so evolved. So our some problems remain, sir. Like we
Have
have
you?
trust.
Hmm,
Yes, sir. Like we
tell
have
me.
trust issues. It is found, it has been found that we work better up to a group of 250 people because we can have better connection and social bonding with them. But as our group largens, our coordination a bit weakens, sir. So we get a imaginary reality about the political nation to have a better coordination, sir. So it in all it gave me a new perspective to see things.
My last question would be: Do should bureaucrats be allowed to write books? As because most of the time they do not reveal the full truth. They get the work done through their junior staffs, and most of the time it's boasting. So, do you think they should be allowed to write books on their professional work?
Sir, I think they should be allowed to write books because sometimes in those books, citizens also get a view ki what a problem a bureaucrat has in running the country and working for the welfare of the people. What type of problem he has and how he solves. So citizen and so they can be reduced trust deficit if the people know about the problems and all. And plus, sir, uh, bureaucrat has also can also express his surroundings and the working. It can also be a learning from the people who are going to enter into the service who don't have any experience to get the view ki what kind of challenges and what kind of solution exist in the field, sir. So I think they should write.
Over to you, Rishabh. Thank you.
Hi Madhavi, am I audible to you?
Yes, sir, you are it is.
Okay. Can you tell me the recently notified national park in India?
So it was sorry, sir. I could not recall it, sir. Sorry, sir.
Okay. So can you tell me the president of India? Who is the president of India right now?
Ram Kovind, sir.
Okay,
Mr. Shri Ram Kovind, sir.
Ramnath Kovind. Okay.
Yes.
Can you tell me few important mineral resources from Uttar Pradesh which are found there?
Sir, I think Uttar Pradesh is not very rich in minerals, but limestone is found in Uttar Pradesh, sir. Uh, Limestone, I can remember of it, mostly in the Sonbhadra district, sir.
Okay. Do you have any idea regarding this Blue flag. What is this blue flag?
So blue flag is initiative is about cleaning the beaches, sir, and making the tourism sustainable there and conserving wildlife there. So it is a sustainable beach improvement program, sir.
So, do we have in India any sites which are awarded this?
Sir, we, as far as I know, uh, there has been a site, sir. I am not able to recall, sir. Sorry, sir.
Okay. So, can you tell me about this jhum cultivation, slash
Yes,
and burn
sir.
cultivation?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Jhum cultivation is mostly done by the tribal people, nomadic people. They first cultivate a land, and when it gets exhausted, they find a new patch of forest, burn and clear it, and then start agriculture there, sir. Sir, but it has some negative consequences also, sir. Like due to this, there is increase in soil erosion and deforestation, which takes time to regenerate on itself, sir.
Okay. So, it's not beneficial according to you.
So in long
This,
term, it is not beneficial, sir.
yeah. But in short term, it's beneficial.
So short term, sir, they are cultural. They relate jhum cultivation to their culture. So in short term, they think it is good. They get a
Hmm.
new land. They get a more fertile land for cultivation, and crop production increase for short time. But in long time, it is not sustainable doing this.
Okay. So, can you tell me about the history of Indian Forest Service?
Yes, sir. It was created in 1864 by British India to conserve to basically resource exploitation of forest and as well as a bit conservation of wildlife, sir. But it is more oriented towards timber exploitation, sir. Then in 1960s, sir, it was converted into All India Services, sir, and various acts like Forest Act 1927, Wildlife Protection Act 1972, Forest Conservation Act 1980, etc., empowers the Forest Department in dealing with different issues, sir.
Okay, so it was primarily formed for the exploitation of the forest.
Yes, sir. Primarily, it was formed for exploitation of forests, sir.
So why are we still continuing with it
So now
after
we are
independence?
Sir, because it has broadened now. Now we are not focusing just on exploitation. We are more focused on conservation and creating a carbon sink, carbon sequestration to mitigate uh, global warming, sir. So now, and as well as it is also the lands part of landscape protection and habitat protection for the wildlife. So our shift, there is a paradigm shift from exploitation to conservation now, sir, in forest services.
Oh, so can you tell me the difference between herb, shrub, and tree?
Yes, sir, I can tell. Herb is not more than 1 or 2 meter, and its stem is mostly greeny and not woody. Its stem is tender, greeny and not woody, sir. Shrubs, it is more branchy from the bottom. Its height doesn't go above 6 meter, and it is woody. Its stem is woody. And for trees, sir, its height is more than 6 meter. It has a single bole. After that, it branches. That bole has a height of nearly 6 meter, and it's very woody, sir. And it has a good diameter, sir.
Okay, so last question from my side. What is this Montrex record?
The Montrex record. Okay, sir. Sir, it is under the Ramsar site. The sites, the wetlands, which degenerate over a time in its physical and biological qualities, they are put under the Montrex record so that they get reminded that they have to do better, sir.
So do we have in India any sites?
Yes, sir, we have. We have Keola Dio National Park and Lipu Lake, sir, in Northeast, sir.
I think that's Loktak.
Loktak, sir. Sorry, sir.
Okay, so now it's over to Lawrence, sir. Okay, thank
Okay,
you.
sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, yeah. Hello, Madhvi. So, just a second, let me make this. Yeah. Hello, Madhvi. I see that one of your optionals is geology. Okay, so I will ask you
Yes, sir.
some basic questions from that part and also some more.
Yes, sir.
So, have you heard about the KT boundary? The KT,
Yes, sir. I have heard about Cretaceous tertiary boundaries, sir.
Cretaceous
Yes, sir.
tertiary boundary. What is the significance of that boundary?
So at that boundary, there was fifth mass extinction,
Mhm,
and dinosaurs got extincted, and
mhm.
it is also correlated with the decaying lava outflow, sir,
Okay, Deccan
and
lava.
meteoritic impact at that time. So two reasons it is said.
Okay, good. Was it just dinosaurs or other animals also which became extinct
But
or other
most of the
plants?
yes, sir. So most of the species got extinct. Dinosaur was the major species that got extinct,
Okay.
sir.
I think dinosaur is not just the major one, it's also the most famous one, okay, which
Yes, sir.
people usually share
Famous one.
about. Yeah. Okay. Uh, if you look at like many countries, okay, around, let's say not very far from India, let's say in the Middle East, those countries are rich in oil. Even if you go to other, let's say, US, some African countries, India does not have a lot of oil resources. What could be the reason for that?
So for oil resources, there are some prerequisites. Like
Mhm.
marine organisms should be buried under the pressure. So for a long time, sir. But India has a very few such situations. Like in Assam and in Rajasthan, there have been transgression of sea, sir, and after that marine lives were buried, and so we got oil. But most of the sedimentary, we have sedimentary rock, but most of the our geology and geography doesn't have that sea transition and marine life, and buried, they were buried, so we found less oil, sir. Chances of less oil, sir.
Okay. So what is marine transgression?
So marine transgression ki when sea inundates the near coastal areas, sir.
Okay. Okay.
The
What
space
about
increase in the sea.
what
Yes, sir. Yes,
what about the northern margin of India? Let's say India was at one point of time.
yes, sir.
Why would there be no? See, you see,
In
Cretaceous
the
was the time when there was like it was a general time of high sea level. So most of the marine
yes, sir.
transgression you see is from the Cretaceous period. So even in
Yes, sir.
northern part of India you would have seen some
Yes, sir.
marine transgression.
Yes, sir.
Why wouldn't you see then those use in that case?
So I think there can be chances of, because they were marine organisms and there have been some fossils also found. But I think Himalayas are a bit difficult terrain and difficult geography to start digging for it. So there is less data about data collection about its for uh, oil chances, sir.
Oil chances. Yeah, I think it could be related to geology also. Data, I think we don't have like a lot, but ONGC started the first place we explored in India was in actually the Himalayan, actually the four-line
Okay.
basin. Okay, so there, it could be other reason also. Okay. All right, so you're from electronics background, and you also like
Yes, sir.
won a prize in embedded programming, right?
Yes,
So,
sir.
what is the difference between how is embedded programming different from normal programming?
So in embedded programming, you program a software and embedded that into a system, sir. Then it works according to that. And in other programmable, you can reprogram it. But in embedded, it's like you programmed it, it is for their life.
Okay.
So
Can you
it
can you
is,
give any
yes.
examples of devices which use embedded programs?
Yes, sir. There are many devices like washing machine, even some robotics also. So there are examples, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Another question. So in the month of February in India, okay.
Yes, sir.
So in the Uttarakhand state, you have stayed there for a while. We saw a
Yes, sir.
disaster, which was the that glacial flood occurred. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So what was the reason for that?
So it is still, many theories are there, like due to the glacier melting, the glacial melting, and it can be also a glacial lake outburst also, sir. So exact reason is still not known, sir.
Is it really so that it is not known? Are there any lakes in the region, glacial lakes?
So there are many glacial lakes. I can't remember the name, but there are many glacial lakes. Sir. So glacial
Okay,
lake outburst can be seen as one reason, sir.
can be seen. Any other theory regarding that?
So I cannot recall, sir.
Okay, okay. Uh, you work like in LPG bottling, right? When you were in HPCL.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What is LPG and how is it different from CNG?
Yes, sir. LPG has most of the concentration in propane and butane, like 80% of it, and it is in the form. It is pressurized, and it is in pressurized condition. It is in liquid form, and mostly propane and butane is there. And in CN, what with the difference with sir? I
CNG,
cannot
CNG.
remember. CNG. CNG is compressed natural gas, sir, and the natural gas it has all the that's a methane, propane, butane. Nothing is in more amount. Like mostly methane is more. It is said, and then it is compressed. But LPG is more compressed than CNG, sir.
Okay.
This is all I can.
LPG is more compressed. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Recently, the government has been thinking about privatizing some of the fields of ONGC. If you have heard about that in the news. Okay.
Sir.
Do you think it is fair to the PSUs such as ONGC and let's say Oil India Limited (OIL), who have discovered those fields that they can be given to other companies, private companies?
Sir, I think if they are compensated, they should be compensated because they have discovered the field.
Mhm.
And if the private sector comes with a better technology with less emissions, so it is good to go for the privatization. Sir.
Okay.
For
Has government tried this in the past, giving some fields out from public sector companies to attract the private firms?
sir, as far as I remember, Krishna Godavari was given to the Reliance for prospecting the fields, sir.
I'm talking about more recent ones in the last few years. Have you heard about Discovered Small Fields, DSF?
Yes, sir, I have heard about it, sir.
Okay.
The
Do
small
you
field.
know anything about that topic?
Sir, that private sector was allowed to
Mhm.
go for the prospecting, sir.
Mhm.
Uh, but sir, this is all I remember, sir. Sorry, sir.
Okay. Yeah, I found it like very interesting when you were talking about some of the books that you like. What was the name of your favorite book? You told yes.
Sapiens, the
Sapiens.
history of humankind.
Sapiens, the history of humankind. Okay. So if we look at like you said like some how agriculture developed and all these things you talked about, what could be the reason? For example, some countries such as in the Persian region, in Europe, in Asia in general, South Asia, India, agriculture developed, whereas in some countries, for example, if you go to Oceania, Polynesia, or over those countries, Micronesia, you don't see any agriculture which was developed. People, even in India, for example, you see example of Andaman, many islands that you see over there. There is people were still living in the hunter gatherer style. What could be the reason for that?
So according to the book, it was there ki they have more social bonding in the hunter gatherer. Bond cannot be go beyond the 25 people.
Mm-hmm.
But when the social organization improved, sir, with the coming of language,
Mm-hmm.
the social organization improved, and even it got beyond the 200 people.
Mm-hmm.
So they started to live together, and for living together, they needed more resources. Which once you started live together, hunting might not be sufficient to support you. So they started to go for agriculture, and it was discovered by women at that time, sir.
Mm-hmm.
So it is said that the emergence of language in that region was one reason behind the emergence of agriculture there, sir.
Okay. What were the implications? Let's say some communities develop agriculture and other communities do not. What would be the
Yes,
implications
sir.
of that thing?
So first was domestication of animals and domestication of wild plants. Like wheat was, maize was domesticated, and it also led to their survival of few species more often. And for example, the agriculture, the few species like there were thousands of species of wheat and rice, but few species were moved progressed. So it is often said that it was not the domestication of wheat, but wheat domesticated us. We started to live in the group. We were confined to that place. Our migration reduced, sir. And matlab, earlier hunter gatherers we used to migrate more. Then at that time start we migrated less, and then there was homogenization of the landscape, sir. The trees were cut, deforestation started, sir. So all these things
In
started,
terms of
sir.
like cultural changes, any cultural implications or implications to, let's say, development of civilizations? Are there any?
Yes, sir, development. Sir,
Okay.
it is said that even the religious was started like praying for the god for rain,
Mhm.
praying for God to less disasters because they are stick to one place. So it started religious cult also at that time,
Okay.
sir.
My final question to you will be this one. So, rare earth elements, they are a key component of the electronics industry. Which country
Yes,
in the
sir. Yes.
world has monopoly over rare earth elements?
So it's China, sir.
China.
China, nearly 90% of the rare
Okay.
elements.
Okay. So that's like, does it present any threats to our country in that regard?
Yes, sir. We want after FAME scheme, we are want to move towards electric vehicles and even solar panels, and all those use rare elements. Even the smartphones, the lithium batteries. So we need a supply, continuous supply of rare elements if we need to move forward towards the more technology and electronic components
Mhm.
manufacturing. So it is a threat, sir.
So
कि
what
our
can we do
supply
about
can
it? What can we do about it?
So we can start to look for domestic production of our rare elements, as well as we can go for the joint production with the countries who have beyond China. We can go beyond China to work for
Okay.
rare earth. Yes.
Okay. I mean, for domestic production, we will need some deposits of rare earth elements in India.
Yes, sir.
If we can't
Yes,
find them, then we cannot produce
sir.
them. And it's not
Yes,
just
sir.
with India. If other countries, it's a threat which is even US considers it's a threat. So what is the reason? Like, are we not able to find rare earth elements in other countries, or is it could be other reason? Some.
Sir, one reason it is कि they have good uh, domestic reserves, but they don't have the largest domestic reserves as far as I remember, sir.
Mhm.
It is just कि it is a labor intensive work and needs some technology which
Mhm.
they have worked for it, and they are better placed for it because they have been experienced for 30-40 years. I think other countries, I think Australia and all also have rare earth materials. So it is more about they have trained their labor and technology for it, sir. But
There
they
is one
don't have
country
the
which
highest
is
reserves.
very close to India. It's not very far away in the same sort of similar region. Can you know the name of that country? Or if not, can you take a guess?
So in what sense, sir?
So
Near to India.
near in the like in
Yes,
the
sir.
South Asian region,
Yes,
or
sir. Yes, sir.
yeah,
It has near India, and it comparable to what, sir? Matlab for India, rare earth materials or
yeah, rare earth.
minerals
I'm
or
saying like any country, it has rich deposits of rare earth elements. It's close to India. It's not very far.
okay, sir. I cannot recall, sir.
Okay, yeah,
I do
no
not know,
worries.
sir,
Okay,
about that.
it's Afghanistan. Okay.
Okay, sir. That's
Okay, yeah. So, all right, Madhvi, now I think Mayank sir
thank you.
may have some questions.
Do Satwik sir want to ask more questions? All right. So, like, I will end the interview by just two more questions. Right. You were talking with Satwik sir about man-eater tiger, right?
Yes, sir.
So, does killing a man-eater tiger set back our conservation policy?
Sir, first of all, if there is a man eater, sir, it is against. I think, sir, we need to protect the animals and wildlife, sir. And killing any wildlife is against our conservation. Killing should be only be the last resort. And man-eating tiger, sir, it is sometimes more a perspective of locals, because killing a single man does not make a tiger man-eater, sir. We need to look more what is the reason behind it and rewilder it, sir. So we need to protect it, conserve it, sir, either by rewildering it or improving the prey density in the region, sir. But they should be protected, sir.
Okay. So don't you think that our conservation policy is more targeting towards conservation of a species rather than conservation of an individual?
So it is because we are conserving tiger lion, but for conserving a tiger lion, we have to conserve every species along the food chain, sir. From trees,
So
grasslands, herbivores. So in
my question is like there is a proven man-eater tiger, all right, and
yes, sir.
if we are not tackling the issue, don't you think it will set back our conservation policy? Because what our conservation policy target is to conserve the tiger as a species, not an individual. So don't you think if we don't uh, give a conclusion to it, it will hurt our conservation policy, as people will be afraid of the tiger and they will themselves start taking steps.
Yes, sir, retaliatory killing they can do, sir. Yes, sir, we need to conclude it. We need to take various steps to conclude it, sir, because tiger is not just a species for conservation; it is also the pride of our country, sir. Because we are the
All
one
right,
with the
all
last.
right, all right. My last question to you is, in your opinion, what is the biggest challenge India as a nation is facing today, right? Apart from COVID.
Sir, I think biggest challenge we are facing is poverty, sir. And because of poverty we have various issues. Poverty is a grave problem, is a human right violation, and because of it other problems are connected. So even in conservation, sir, human animal conflict, one reason is key. People are dependent on forest for food, for the fuel. They are poor, so they go to the forest, and there has been attacks on them. Even the poaching is can be related to poverty. For quick money people go for poaching. So poverty even leads to, sir, various crimes. So I think poverty is one of the root cause of many problems. So it is one of the biggest problem I think India faces, sir.
All right, Madhvi, है ना? So
Okay,
with this we will end the interview. You can
okay,
please leave
sir.
the call for now. We will call you back in like 5 to 10 minutes.